Hey folks, good morning. It's Brian. We got to play RQG last night. One of the players wasn't able to make it, so we played for him, tried to keep it out of the way, but got to do a couple of good things. So a lot of this session was just talking through things, right? We did a little quick recap about how at the end of first season, went to the Queen's Tomb on Crescent Coming Day, on Wednesday of Illusion Week. And they were back to clear wine on Fire Day, and they kind of spent a week recuperating and regaining rune points. Really, what it came down to. And then on Wild Day of Truth Week, they head out to return the armor, the shield, the spear, the javelin, the helmet to the king at the Old Grave. I kept thinking it was Lost Tomb for some reason. But that's probably the Queen's Tomb. Okay. And I had initially thought it was going to take like 11 days for this all to happen. And I'm go back through, okay, grab the RQG book, the blue book with the travel times and distances inside the homeland section. And I get my little measuring string and mapping out, okay, go from clear wine, excuse me, to Appalachian. It almost always seems to just take a day. And you know, it works out that way, right? But on the way back, they always seem to stop at Black Spear. I was trying to figure out how did that change. But anyway, from Apple Lane, they can get all the way past Redbird and into the wilderness along the river. Um, Not the river. It's the Barani River that on the north side and getting out close to being opposite of Famous Bell, which they had that massive brew encounter previously. That seems to be just, that's stuff about how hard you can get. So we're going to be camping in this area every time we travel this way. But from there, they can get all the way to the grave. And, they get there late, make camp, return the stuff. There's a little bit of discussion. Okay, who's actually going to go in there? Who's not smelling like dragons, that kind of thing. And one thing that did not come up the entire session is where is the dragon? What is she doing? She's hiding out, right? Um, okay, on the way back, camp, back to Apple Lane. I had them roll every time they stop at Apple Lane to see if the baboons are attacking. And they get asked to help defend. But no and no. So from there, they head south. But Irvana wanted to stop at Pig Hollow where they had killed Red Eye. She's going to summon a small earth elemental that she's then going to put into the bracelet that they got from the tomb, the Queen's tomb. And she does so, but before she puts it in the bracelet, she tells it to go down into this area and find those silver tusks and bring them up. And so it did that. And so I had to look up, okay, what are tusks like on a wild boar? Because the picture in the book is pretty wild looking. Almost like there's six tusks, right? There's two sets in the mouth, and there's these ones poking through his jaw at the top. And they actually do that kind of thing because they curl, right? It actually curls around. In fact, it goes back into the bone of their jaw when they circle around. And these upper tusks, do this kind of thing, and they're sharp on that side because that's where the boar, tusks trees or whatever they call it. When they sharpen their tusks on trees and rip them up. Um, But the bottom ones are just normal. So it says they're short sword sized and very sharp, extremely sharp. Does the adjective really matter? Anyway, sharp, right? So they start talking about, making, spears and swords out of these tusks. And I'm trying to figure out how many of these tusks do we really have. That's why I started looking up and saw the bottom was grow fairly straight, but the top ones do this curl thing, right? But it's edged on the outside, so you could use those to make a sort of core for a sort of battle axe kind of thing. So they got these ideas in their head on, hey, we can do this kind of thing. Let's turn these into weapons. And excuse me, and they bring him up, right? And so she decides, though, or Vaughn decides, um, that they'll keep three and donate one to the temple. Okay, which temple? Because she is from the green. I need to move all this stuff all the way so I can see my map. She is from the Greenstone Temple, but they're hanging out in Clearwine, and there's the Clearwine Earth Temple. So there's a discussion, real short discussion. Oh, trying to life plays in the description. Sorry. And they decide, okay, we sent to the big temple for the for the for the tribe, because the tribal lands is where they are. Um, and there's also this stretch of pathway through Tardisi's forest where the only encounter I rolled for the entire trip occurred, and it was surprise brew. So I hashed out my brew guys, and some of them are kind of cool. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Did I throw them all away? Oh, where'd you go? Well, these two aren't them at all. There's one page of brew. There was 2 pages of brew. Oh, here's the other one. Okay, so dun, 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 brew chief. Okay, uh, it's not war band, but the gang chief. And it's something that afterwards think about. In uh, Darkness at Runegate, there's the chief and the lieutenant, and there's all the cats and dogs, right? So, but the chief and lieutenant, which have extra chaos abilities, which everything that I've got in describing these encounters, that's the way it is. But they also went ahead and outfitted them to fit their capabilities, giving them real weapons, um, magic items, that kind of thing, right? So afterwards, they're going, I really should have done that for this. But anyway, so the Brew Chieftain had increased movement, was his chaos feature, so he has a movement of 16 instead of 9. But he also regenerates at 2d6 minus 5 hit points, averaging 2. A lot of time, nothing, sometimes a bunch of hit points. Each melee round for each location. So I thought, okay, this guy's going to last. Wrong. He also had an extra body part from regenerating on limbs, which gives him extra hit points. I didn't do that. I probably should have just rolled an extra body part, uh, which I did for some of the other guys here later. But I was thinking, okay, if they damage a limb enough to bring it probably to negative its hit points, I'd have a new limb start sprouting out, kind of thing. But how fast does this regeneration really go? Because we're talking about hit points per melee round. Maybe that's how we've done it. If we average in 2, he's got 4 hit points in a limb. Actually, he's got 6. It'd be like 3 melee rounds later, he'd have this extra arm, or an extra leg or something. But it never worked out the way, because he got hit in the abdomen, which put him down. Arrestra inter got in the way. And so he went down, but then he's got to heal too. So he healed himself up to +1 to get up, and he was the hell is missed calls. He because I used the Pendragon stuff to give me a feel for how people act, right? And he was cowardly, so he's at this point. Okay, I'm leaving. And so he spends around disengaging, and then he takes off because he's much faster than everybody else, anyways, right? But no, he didn't spend around that. He just left. So I gave her that, one shot opportunity, attack of opportunity thing, right? So she swings as he takes off, and sure enough, she gets critical success in the head as he's leaving. Kills him outright, so he's not going to be regenerating anything. Okay, the lieutenant who ran. The party's kind of in the pathway, right? And the chief is coming around this way because he's out far watching and he can move fast. And there's two guys down here that come out, and there's the lieutenant and three other guys over here come out. And lieutenant come out and he ran down to get the first guy, the lead. There's a light cavalry dude, and because the light cavalry dude is on a horse, number two also came up. He spears number two, and that's the one he, by the way, got an impale in the chest, but wasn't able to retrieve the weapon. And he's riding off, and he's going to turn around and come back. But he digs off. He's on a horse, right? By the time he gets there, the horse is gone. So he turns, holding his attack, waiting for the horse to come back so he can attack him as he's coming back. Well, that happens. Jarstake goes to the chariot, and I'm just thinking, okay, because I started this whole multi-hex creature things, shifting onto people to step on them and that kind of stuff. In our last session, going, we could do this with the chariot too, right? Just run over people. And so it happens that three of the brew were all together in a clump. Okay, run all over three of them. Try and do a quick turn, come back, do another quick turn so he can reorient on the road. I had to make three, chariot ride rolls to do all that kind of stuff. And the brew, two of them, dodged out of the way, but one of them got ran over. It was number two. 1d6 plus 1 locations for 1d6 plus 6 hit points of damage. Your armor's only half. Holy cow. Munched him up. But anyway, that was the first turn, right? He's doing that kind of thing. And so he's facing down the pathway, and Juchi with his horses far south turning north. And there's Lieutenant right in the way. So he's going to run over the Lieutenant, heading towards the Juchi so he can go down south and turn around kind of thing. Well, the Lieutenant has 4 arms. So he's got club and shield and two-handed spear. Yeah, that's going to do some damage, right? No, because he gets run over. He takes 3 times 9 is 27. 27 and 12 is 39. Plus 8 is 46. 47. 47 points of damage total. I just crunched him up. But he has acid for blood. Yeah. Potency is 2d10. I rolled it as a 12. So, horses, chariot, getting blood all over them. I only checked the ones that actually got, below, he took 9 points of damage to his abdomen, which only has 7 hit points. Blood's coming up. That happened twice. He took 8 and 9 points of damage to his left leg, which has only 7 hit points. Blood's coming up. But the 2 6s in the chest, I guess I could have said blood, but he's got 9 hit points there, so he just did damage, right? So we got 4 opportunities of acid blood getting all over something, right? So I do just some random rolling kind of stuff, and I have George Dacos make the rolls, right? So the chariot took one of those hits. One horse took 2 of those hits, and the other horse took 1. But this is 11 points of acid damage. And they've got like 4 hit points in their legs, right? So they go after they run over, they just crash. The horses squeal out, fall to the ground. The chariots took 11 points of damage to 1 wheel, but it's only got 16 hit points. So it's crunching down. Just stop. So Jarstay goes to Miriam, jump out. Jarstay goes, what's one of the horses? Miriam goes and investigates some of the other brew because there's still some around at that point. And way up north, Irvana, who hasn't really been doing anything, casting some spells, that kind of thing, gets attacked by a brew with a spear. She gets poked in the abdomen, just a few points, but okay, she takes off. Her bison travels down to where the horses and the chariot are, and she jumps off to investigate what's going on with the sad poor animals. David's kind of running around up north, trying to draw brew away from people, but attacking as available. Brew 1, as I mentioned, got ran over. He didn't have any features, but he did have the shakes. But again, he's got run over. He's dead. Brew number 2 Was when he got speared in the chest. He stopped 2 point spells, absorbed 2 point spells. That would have been cool. Never got to see that happen. Brew number 3 and 5 and 1. We're all in that group up north of the lieutenant. Lieutenant moves south. 1, 2, 1, 3, and 5. Kind of centralized. They're going to spread out, but you remember they're dodging out of the way of these chariots, so they're getting back up. And number 1 has to dodge again and missed. So he got trampled to death. Okay, Brew 3 and Brew 5. There was some fighting in there. Um, yeah, Brew 3 had a lot of fighting. He was fighting. Must have been one fighting with Nirvana, because Nirvana. No, but David was up there. So there's lots of fights with Harry. He gets hit for a bunch of damage in the leg, a bunch of damage in the leg, a bunch of damage in the abdomen. But he's got 2 right arms. He's got an extra body part. This is a chaotic feature. So he's doing uh, club and spear with shield, but he lost his shield. Did a heal to get his arm back up. We take the time, okay, get the shield back up. He starts doing this double attack. Oh, he's still in the central area because he's fighting. Juji eventually comes back, so he's doing his broadsword from horseback. And Jarstakos moved up and Miriam moved up, so there's 3 of them around him all attacking. He's dodging the one from behind, kind of trying to stay out of the way while he's blocking with his shield or with his club with the others. So there's a couple of melee rounds of it. It's just them, right? Because the one up north took off, and Davin and Arrestra chased after him. We did a little chase scene, but Davin's got mobility on, so that's double speed, and Arvana is slow on Brew number 4, so he's moving at 4.5. So we, doing the chase scene rules. Oh, excuse me, and playing with him, trying to get used to him. But you got these modifiers for the speed difference that gives Davin plenty of time with the speed difference to still be successful on his dex rolls to catch him, which he does, and hacks him up. And the rest got there at the very end to hack the dead body. Oh man, something in my eye. Okay, back to the brew. Yeah, it was brew 4 up north, taking off, chased him down, hack, and kill. Actually, only took like 2 hits, one in the leg and then one in the arm. But he's only got, well, he only has. He's got 21 hit points. These guys were pretty tough constitutionally. They had some decent hit points. And then brew number 5. Oh, he was cowardly from his traits. So after the chariot raised by, almost trampling him, he just took off. So they lost him. That was our brew fight. Yay! Another brew fight. We got the small earth elemental. They got the silver tusks, and they get to clear wine. They finally get to clear wine on late Wednesday of Disorder Week. And by this point, we're well past midnight because I drank my Mountain Dew too late in the evening, so I was up until 2:30 this morning. Bad. So we just kind of talk about, okay, so my next planned encounter turned out to happen on, or is going to happen rather, on Wild Day of Illusion Week. So we got the whole month of Darkness season, the whole season of Dark Season to play with. So, okay, end of season phase. They do this little thing, got some check marks, end of season phase, and then they're going to get called up to the palace by the queen to meet with Orlaurant, dragon friend, who's come to investigate in things happening here in the Kalimar tribe. And that's where we ended the session. Nice little fight. Got some check marks. There would have been a Telmori encounter, but the Telmori, I mean, these guys are armored up. They don't want to mess with that, so they snuck away. I did let them make some listen and scan rolls, specials. Okay, you can do something in the woods because they're in the area, right? But they're Telmori, right? They're hiding, they're sneaking, they're getting out of the way. They're not leaving any tracks. They give their this is where I heard, this is where was all that sound was from, but they couldn't find any tracks, so it is what it is. And so we will start off with end of season phase, beginning next session, which I'm not sure is going to happen because next week, our next session weekend, I'll be in West Virginia at a football game. And then we will meet Orlarant, Dragon Friend. Happy gaming!